Hi everyone, I'm Shelley and you're watching There's No Place Like Home. I'm back with another Question the Narrative video, and today's topic is full preterists versus little Seasonists. Don't worry, I am not trying to pit full preterists against little seasonists in actuality. I have a lot of little seasonist friends. I honestly just couldn't think of another title for this video because I'm going to be addressing a comment that someone left about a week or two ago that had some questions about the difference between how little seasonists approach their theory and how full preterists approach preterism. So that's really what the title is about. So if you were going to come here to leave a comment saying that I'm trying to cause division, I'm not. I just couldn't think of another title. And since we will be actually talking about some of the differences, at least some of the perceived differences, I thought that that was an appropriate title. So let's just read the comment. This is from D. Elizabeth, and it says, I easily sit on the fence between little season theory and full preterism. By God's grace, He has enabled me to listen to both views with an open mind. I leave it to the Holy Spirit to provide me with conviction in His time. It happened with biblical cosmology and with bringing me to Jesus. What I am noticing, however, is that little seasoned theorists don't claim to know they are seeking biblical truth. Sorry, they don't claim to know. They are seeking biblical truth to explain the many deceptions surrounding us. Whereas the full preterists claim they know 100% the truth and are focused on convincing others with little thought to the lies we've been fed. Please correct me, this is just a difference I keep seeing. Peace and love to you. Thank you for this comment and for this question. It's an interesting one, and this gives me a little bit of break from, having to do all of the research and everything for all of the other videos, because this is really more anecdotal, because I think that it matters who are you watching. You might not be watching the same people that I'm watching, so you might have a different perception of how people are approaching these topics. So I'm just going to share with you from my experience. And the first thing that I'm going to state is that in both little seasonists and full preterists, there are people who don't claim to know, and there are people who do claim to know. So it's not just one group or the other. There are some who will admit that there are some things that they're not sure of in both camps, but also in both camps there are those who will say 100% they know everything and they don't have any questions about any of their beliefs. It happens on both sides. For example, when I was still in the short season or the little season camp, and when I was still making videos about it, and I did make a lot of videos about the short season and the little season. So I have to interject that here because a lot of times people will leave comments here and they will insinuate that I just don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to the short season. But I spent years in the short season camp. So I think that was just important to say. But when I was in the little season camp, in my videos, I always emphasized that it was a theory. I never said that I was 100% certain that it was true. A lot of times I even called it a thought experiment, or I would say that I was hypothesizing. So I thought that it had merit, the short season theory did, and in my mind at the time it did, but I was never willing to go all in when it came to the short season, and it's because there are several reasons for that, and I made another video on that, a few weeks ago, so I won't get into that here. But even when I was pretty sure, like I was pretty sure that the short season was the real deal, I still was not willing to say we are 100% in the short season. However, not all little seasoners are like that. And I'm mainly talking more about commenters than about content creators because I'm going to be honest, I don't really watch short season or little season videos anymore because I don't have any interest in it, so I haven't been watching them. However, I do get a lot of comments from little seasoners on my own videos. And what I can tell you is that the vast majority of them are very, very, very certain that we are in the little season. And they get angry with me for not believing that we're in the little season. I get called names for not believing that we're in the little season. I get accused of different things for not believing that we're in the little season. So to say that little seasoners don't claim to know is certainly not my experience at all. From what I experience when it comes to interacting with a lot of these people, again, not all of them. I have some good friends who believe in the little season, but a lot of the interactions that I do have are with people who are 100%. They will just outright say, we are in the little season. And this isn't just my channel. A lot of times I will read the comments on other videos that I'm watching, and people will be in the comments there too saying, we're in the little season. We're in the little season. You don't see, I believe we are in the little season very often. What you will see is we are in the little season. So that is just another example that yes, there are people on both sides who do that. In fact, I was just joking the other day that believing in the little season and being a content creator can actually be a very lucrative thing, especially when you have these people who, like I said, the ones that I see in my comments, who are adamant, and they're completely focused on the little season. Everything is about the little season, and unfortunately the little season is almost idolized by these people. And so I mentioned to someone the other day, you could literally make a video called clipping your cat's nails. And if you add in the little season, you will see a a boost in your views. So, videos like clipping your cat's nails in the little season, shopping for prom dresses in the little season, grilling hamburgers in the little season. Again, I'm joking, but this is a trend and it is increasing. And it really is. There are a lot of people who just, the only way that they seem to view anything anymore is through the lens of little season, little season, little season. Now, in contrast, when I was still making videos about the little season, I would get full preterists in my comments, and they were actually the ones who nudged me to look into full preterism, and they didn't do this by being belligerent. They did this because they were there. At least, again, this is my experience. This might not be the experience of everyone else, but what I saw from those who believed in full preterism in my comments when I was a little seasonist, they were there to plant seeds. They weren't there to argue or to belittle people. Again, my experience, I'm just telling you, maybe not everyone's has been like this. If they would have been belligerent, I never would have looked into it to begin with. They were just very kind, just giving little tidbits of information, just planting seeds and helping me to see, oh, well, maybe this is something that I should be worth looking into. So, and I don't remember ever getting an accusation from a full preterist in my comments. I was never accused of anything by a full preterist when I was in the little season. They were just like, you're almost there, you're almost there. They were very, very encouraging, actually. Now, I will say that yeah, there are some full preterists who would say that they are 100% right about everything, including those little details that not all preterists even agree on. So, like I said, there are people on both sides of the camp who just will not accept that there might be something that they're either wrong about or that they just aren't sure of. But there are a lot of preterists who are willing to admit that they still don't have it all figured out. Zach Davis is a good example of that. I have seen him on many of his videos say that he is still looking into something, or he's still not completely sold on one thing, but that it's interesting and he is trying to research it a little more, pray about it a little more. He is one of the people for sure that will not ever come out and say that he 100% has everything figured out. Another one is Shade Stone. Shade Stone, he very often in his videos he will say, "I suggest that," and then he'll make a statement like, "I suggest that Revelation 20 is about this," and he's very gentle in the way that he says things. Or he may say something like, "It seems that," and again, Shade Stone very gentle in the way that he approaches things, and he is willing to admit that he might not have it all figured out. Joel Rosenauer is another one who is very gentle in his approach to full preterism. John Paul Miles, Bob Cruikshank. I could go on and on. So if you are a content creator and I haven't listed you, it doesn't mean that I don't think that you are any of these things, but it's just these are the ones that I just wrote down for off the top of my head. So again, the two sides, they have similarities because just as little seasonists disagree, some little seasonists disagree. Like I said, there are some who claim to have the truth on everything and they don't want to hear anything otherwise. But there are a lot of little seasonists who disagree on certain details. For example, like what year Satan was released, or maybe when the millennium ended, or they might even disagree on who built the buildings. So while the little seasonists have a basic commonality between them on how their eschatological views are, they don't have all the details worked out yet. And and the same thing is true when it comes to full preterists. Again, now there are some full preterists who will say they have everything 100% figured out, but that's not most of them. Most of them also will, again, have the same basic structure of their eschatology, but there are details that they might disagree on because they're just not quite sure yet. So some details that the full preterists might disagree on are, like, if there was a first century rapture. There are some who believe that there was a first century rapture, and then there are others who believe that there was no rapture at all. There are some full preterists who believe that the resurrection was a corporate resurrection, and then there are others who believe that it was an individual bodily resurrection. So that is differences also that you will see in full preterism. Some of them, might disagree on what year or when, or generally when Satan was bound. Okay, so these are details that, just like little Seasonists, they don't have figure out. And I've seen that most of the time they're very cordial when it comes to disagreeing with one another, because again, you've still got that same basic eschatological view that they have in common, and then you have the little pieces that are still being worked through. So I just wanted to reread this part right here. What I am noticing, however, is that little season theorists don't claim to know. They are seeking biblical truth to explain the many deceptions surrounding us. So I'm just going to stop there, because what I have seen, and this, again, this was one of the reasons that I stopped believing in the little season theory, was because I'm still waiting to see biblical evidence beyond Revelation 20 when it comes to the little season. I just am. I know that there's still a lot of them are still focused on looking at buildings and theorizing about different things that I used to theorize about, like maybe cloning and homunculi and the World's Fairs and the reset and orphan trains, but that's not biblical truth. Okay, that's historical things, that historical speculation, I would even have to say, because it's something that, yeah, it's very speculative. So I'm waiting. I've asked a lot of people, if you have evidence beyond Revelation 20, I leave it in the comments. I would love to see it. And a lot of times what they will do is they'll leave evidence for what they believe was, the 1,000-year reign. It'll be Isaiah 65, but that's actually talking about the new heaven and earth. So I haven't seen any evidence as of right now. Now, whereas the full preterists claim they know 100% the truth and are focused on convincing others with little thought to the lies we've been fed. So, like I mentioned, that's not actually the case. There are a lot of full preterists who don't claim that they 100% know the truth. I'm one of them. I'm a full preterist. I don't claim to 100% have the truth. I'm researching, I'm praying, I'm reading the word, but I'm not going to claim that I know 100% the truth. And it says, and are focused on convincing others with little thought to the lies we've been fed. Well, again, I am a full preterist who also believes that we have been fed lies. I spent years making videos about those things. But the fact of the matter is that just because those things happened, it doesn't mean that it has anything to do with revelation or biblical prophecy. That was about, in my opinion, the judgment of Jerusalem. And then the bringing in of the Gentiles, and now the believers being the New Jerusalem. So that is a separate set of events that ended in 70 AD. Does it mean that other deceptions haven't happened or other atrocities haven't happened? No, it doesn't mean that at all. It just means that the things that I used to like looking at, like the orphan trains and all of that, that I would attribute to the little season just because it was a neat little pocket to tuck everything into. I had no evidence of that. It was just a theory. It was just I found a bunch of weird stuff, tucked it into a pocket just because I thought that it would fit nicely there, and really that was it. And I'm not the only full preterist who acknowledges the lies that we have been fed, or the atrocities that have happened. I often bring up Berean Bible Church. I mention Berean Bible Church a lot. And the pastor of that church, David Curtis, he is a full preterist. He is a full preterist pastor, and he believes in biblical cosmology. He also has a lot of misgivings and mistrust of the medical industry and the government. He has talked about the Rothschilds. So we have, yes, a full preterist right here who is very well versed on the things that have been going on and that have happened to us. Another full preterist who is very well knowledgeable about the lies that we've been fed and the manipulation is Mike Sullivan. He wrote Armageddon Deception, and Armageddon Deception was about, he talks about the Rothschilds in it and their role in orchestrating World War III. But guess what? It's also about full preterism. So I can even just share with you the last, I'll read to you the last paragraph on the back of the book. This is a dangerous time in which to live, a time when these three religious systems are attempting to self fulfill their end time holy war, and the globalist cabal are more than willing to help start it in order to usher in their great reset and one world government. This book identifies the worldviews that seek to destroy Christianity and gives the reader an accurate view of Bible prophecy that can aid in forming a more scriptural and constitutional foreign policy in the Middle East. So, yes, there are full preterists who are very knowledgeable about the things that have happened in the world. So I hope that this helps your question. Thank you so much again for sharing it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed and would like to hear more of what I have to say, I would love if you would do that. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave one down below. And if you like my work and would like to become a channel member, I will leave a link in the description box for that as well. And I hope you have a great day.